This is the 10 o'clock news.
I've asked the fire commissioner to meet with the district attorney tomorrow, light him of all the facts, and we think that the district attorney should take a very intensive look at this to see what violations occurred in connection with failure on a part of the owner to conform to the building code.
That order from Mayor Beam after a fire burned through a seedy Manhattan bathhouse and overnight hotel this morning. 9 men were killed, 2 critically injured, and 8 others hurt. The story now from Bob O'Brien.
When firemen first arrived, shortly after 7 this morning, flames were roaring through the top 2 floors of the Everard Baths. The bathhouse, which catered almost exclusively to homosexual men, was crowded with as many as 100 overnight guests. There were 135 small cubicles on the top floors that served as guest rooms. Fire Commissioner John O'Hagan says residents of the bathhouse apparently tried to put out a mattress fire around 5 or 6 this morning without calling the fire department. O'Hagan says the mattress fire was not fully extinguished and reignited. Michael James, one of the guests at the bathhouse, says once the fire got going in earnest, it spread very quickly.
I ran down 1 flight of stairs. I ran back up the flight of stairs and couldn't get in through the maze of hallways to get back to my room.
Did you hear people yelling to get out?
Everybody was yelling that, you know, this way down, because everyone was trying to make it to the fire escapes.
Was it full of smoke?
Completely, and there was no electricity, so everyone was disoriented. No matter where you were, it was just pitch black, and the smoke was just cutting into your lungs and your eyes and your nose and everything. It was just horrible.
It took 200 firefighters more than an hour to bring the fire under control so that a search of the building could begin. The bodies of 6 men were found this morning. Several others died later at Bellevue Hospital. But the roof collapsed on the main housing area, and a thorough search of those 135 cubicles cannot begin until a crane is brought in to remove overhanging and dangerous debris. Several people had been injured in 1972 when a 2-alarm fire gutted the top floor of the bathhouse. Last August, the fire department ordered the owner of the baths, Irving Fine, to install an automatic sprinkler system. Fine had until this July to comply with the order. A sprinkler system had been installed, but was not operational when the fire started this morning. Fire Commissioner O'Hagan says if the system had been working, it's likely no lives would have been lost. The owner had also been ordered to install a sprinkler system back in 1964. He appealed the order. The building was re-inspected by a deputy fire chief who said the sprinklers were a must. The owner appealed a second time in 1965. That time he succeeded in having the order reversed.
A senior officer from the Division of Fire Prevention was dispatched to review it. In his opinion, he said that the order could be rescinded if the building owner met certain conditions that he laid down.
What were the conditions he set for this place?
Well, he set conditions such as enclosing stairs with fireproof doors, reducing fire loading in the cellar, closing a hole in the floor between the second and third floor. In his opinion, he seemed to think that that was adequate to allow the rescinding of the order. From the period of approximately, I would say 64 on, we have had our capacity for making inspections reduced by restrictions in the firefighters' contract, by an increase in workload in the department, and a reduction in manpower. Whereas we used to inspect these buildings once a year, now we're lucky to get around to them once every 3 or 4 years. That partially explains why the order wasn't reinstituted from 65 up until 76.
Commissioner O'Hagan says it may be several days before the final death toll is known. Men who stayed at the bathhouse traditionally left their wallets and valuables in safe deposit boxes at the main desk. Firemen opened all those boxes this morning and found unclaimed valuables belonging to 23 people. Only one of those boxes has been matched up with a person known to be dead or injured. So, as of now, as many as 22 persons may still be missing. This is Bob O'Brien.
Also tonight, Richard Nixon covered